So hello. Yes, I'm Bridget Esposito, and I head up the creative department for brand. And within Prudential, that means a lot of things. We do the top of the house funnel campaigns, which includes everything from sponsorships, which we do a lot of live events. So we just actually sponsor the Oscars. And we do a lot of live events like Bottle Rock, which is a really amazing music festival here in the States. And we have Rose Bowl, which is big football. So we find ourselves a lot in this live space. And then also everything from our paid and organic social to our larger campaigns, and then our Prudential.com. So it's quite a bit of work throughout that. And then we create those top of house funnel campaigns and then get pulled down through all the different business units and our partners in our spaces throughout Prudential. So we have our businesses in the US, and then we have several businesses throughout the world. So we're global at this point, for a while now, obviously. And so it's a lot of tying in our brand and making sure that it's actually being cohesive and consistent and strong throughout all of the different people that are using it, right? It's brand resilience, it's brand strength. So my team is full of creative directors, art directors, producers, and we work really closely with our MarTech partners and our strategists and our CMOs. And through that, we've had to really figure out, how are we going to change? How are we going to stand out in a sea of things? And we've made it our goal to kind of surprise and delight as a brand. And so we realized that we're a smaller team and we've got a lot of stuff to make. So we had to recreate the content supply chain. So a couple years ago, we bought into Adobe fully. So all the products, the whole supply chain in that space. We were always on Workfront, which we love. It's a big key component for us. And what we discovered is we needed to really look at pockets of how we could be super efficient with doing more work with the amount of people that we had. So we looked at our workflow and our processes, and then looked at how we could pull all that through and tie in our CDP with our analytics, and how we could leverage Marketo to build these templates for email success. And then spend a lot of time on how do we take some of our brand that we refreshed and made new and really been working on very hard, and make sure that everybody has the right assets. So we went ahead and used Adobe Creative Cloud to build out brand libraries. And then from there, we also created brand templates in Express. So organic social was one of the easiest ways, but we have templates from everything internal that you can think of, because internal needs to be just as strong as your external. We then worked on training people to understand how to use these tools, so people that were not designers could embrace them more. And we needed to spend a lot of time on what constitutes as good creative, and then find the right use case for the right user. And our team and the MarTech team has done a really good job at trying to make sure that all of our tools are connected. So our DAM, we recently got a new DAM, and so migrating all our files and everything so that our metadata is right, and we're capturing all the really important things in this space. There's a lot of building to get yourself on the content supply chain. A lot of building, a lot of prep work that people have to do, whether it's building your brand, it's getting your assets and your libraries in check. And then it's a lot of education. And I think once we had those, the basic connections of Workfront, process and flow, Marketo, our Adobe Analytics, all our Creative Cloud products. Once we had those all together, then we brought on AEM and transitioned all of our websites onto AEM and the modules. And we are working on PGIM is our other business, our investment business that's global. We're working on migrating all of that right now into AEM. The next step was, okay, so now how is AI going to fit into this? How are we going to use some of the AI products like Firefly to really help us push this further? So we spent quite a bit of time of figuring out custom models, building up our custom models to share so that the new brand that we just built can be easily accessed to replace old assets, because that's a big bear for people. In a large company, you have so many assets. You're creating 12,000 assets a year easily, And when you do a brand refresh, everyone gets mad because they're gonna have to replace those assets. And so creating some custom models helps you replace some of those things in a more manageable way. We have been working a lot on, we've been working a lot on Gen Studio and trying to find the right use case for that. So we're in that kind of beta mode of like what's gonna fit for us, what's gonna work. Prudential's a financial company, so we have a lot of restrictions, and we don't have a physical product like Coke, right? So it's a little bit more difficult for us, but we're working on what that looks like for us. And I know I just threw a lot at everybody, so I guess I kind of pause there. But what I would say is that the other really important thing is when we're talking about the building for the content supply chain, the brand build was really important. So creating your brand guidelines and making sure they're really thorough so that you can train all these models. But I think that's a misstep on people's part, is they have kind of like not so great detailed brand guidelines and things and tone, and then they try to put that in the model and it's not outputting what they want. So we spent a lot of time building that as well.